this is Shelley Holmes. I am the Advanced Academics Coordinator at Allen High School, and I also run our International Baccalaureate program. I want to give you some information about the IB program and a little bit about the course selection process for IB for the upcoming school year. So here's a little overview of what's in this video. So I'm going to talk about IB and what it is, course scheduling for IB. If you're in the class of 2023, some instructions that apply to you just about what to do with scheduling if you're a potential diploma candidate. How the college credit piece works with IB exams. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of college admissions. Some updated terminology about the Gpa table and course weights, and then a couple of FAQs about the IB program. So what is IB? IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and the name, as you can imagine, is problematic because people hear the word international and they say, well, I don't need to take IB classes because I'm not planning on going to college in another country. So that has nothing to do with it. IB is a worldwide program, and it is fully appropriate for a student who is planning on attending university here in the U.S. or overseas. So our IB program is a diploma program only, which means it's open to 11th and 12th grade students. It's open enrollment. We don't have an application. We don't have a gatekeeping process for entry into the program. Any student who has met prerequisites and is at the appropriate spot with some of their courses is able to enter IB. So IB is different than AP in that with advanced placement, you've got a philosophy of we're going to get college information, college courses into the hands of high school students so that they can then get college credit for those subjects and spend less time in college while they're there and save money. So IB also will get you college credit, but the program philosophy is totally different. So IB is about growing a globally minded, world-focused change agent who understands that it is their responsibility to be knowledgeable in a variety of areas and to be able to articulate that knowledge in writing and in speech. And so we build those skills in a variety of ways. Certainly we do that academically, and we also do that through some specific requirements in the IB program. So very similar to advanced placement in terms of workload and opportunities for college credit. Carries the same weight as AP on a GPA scale. I'll talk about a little bit more about that later. Different from AP in the ways that I've mentioned in a couple of other ways. So IB is about concurrency of learning. What that means is that we make academic connections between subjects in IB. It's completely appropriate for your IB music class to talk about the music that was created during times of war. It's completely appropriate for our IB English teacher and our IB Spanish teacher to be reading the same book with the kids at the same time and talking about the same subject matter. So you will have those connections between subjects. Some IB courses take 2 years to finish. Currently, we don't have any AP course that takes 2 years to finish. Not every IB course is open enrollment. While we do have a program philosophy that's open enrollment, we have some IB courses that are closed off to full diploma candidates. IB offers you the option to earn a second high school diploma on top of your Allen High School diploma. And as I mentioned earlier, oral and written communication are a huge, huge part of IB courses. So much so that back in the day when we used to require speech credit, we didn't make our IB kids take speech because they do so much presenting and speaking in front of crowds. So I mentioned the IB diploma. So what do you do to earn that? Well, a couple things. You have to take your IB core curriculum, which is a 2-year English class. You have to take a foreign language at least through level 4. And so our IB languages are Mandarin Chinese, French, German, or Spanish. We do not offer IB ASL. And you need to have finished level 2 of Chinese, French, German, or Spanish before you start 11th grade. You will take a 2-year history class called History of the Americas. If you are pursuing an IB diploma, you do not have to take government because we cover that in History of the Americas. You'll take a science class, which could be biology or chemistry or physics. You'll take a math class, and to qualify for either one of our math classes, you need to have taken either Algebra 2 or Pre-Cal by the end of 10th grade. And then you'll take an IB elective, which could be art, music, psychology, or another science course. You'll take a class called Theory of Knowledge in 11th and 12th grades. TOK is about exploring how we know what we purport to know. And so you explore ways of knowing and origins of knowledge in that class. You're going to write the extended essay, and this is always where I lose kids, unfortunately. They hear 4,000 words and they go to a dark place. And so you're going to do a research dissertation. It takes a year to write it, called the extended essay. You get to write it on a topic of your choosing, and you're assigned a supervisor. So we don't say, hey, go write this paper. We say, hey, let's write this paper together. And then we give you incremental deadlines so that it doesn't seem so overwhelming. But the EE is part of your requirements for the IB diploma. And then you're going to complete CAS. CAS stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. And you will have 2 years to complete your CAS experiences. So those of you interested in pursuing an IB diploma, I've given you the shortest overview of this on this slide. There will be more to come about that. We're having a meeting that I will talk about later on in this slideshow that will go into great detail about the program in every single class. But that's a brief overview of what it takes to earn the IB diploma. Here are the IB courses we offer at Allen High School. So a couple things to point out on this slide. You see some courses that are green font. So those are the courses that are open enrollment. Those are open to every student in 11th and 12th grade who wishes to take them. The courses that are in black font are closed. Those are closed off to our full diploma candidates. You will also see the letters SL and HL after these classes. That has to do with teaching hours. So a standard level class requires 150 teaching hours and usually is finished in 1 year. The exception to that is standard level math. That is a 2-year long course. An HL class requires 240 teaching hours and always spans 2 years. So this is an overview of our IB courses. Our academic planning guide, which is the document that governs all of our policies and has every prerequisite listed for every course as well as a course description, can give you far more detail about these courses should you be interested in them. So a little bit about course scheduling. So IB courses are only open to 11th and 12th grade students. You cannot take an IB course as a 10th grader. I build IB schedules for our diploma candidates, so my full diploma kids do not participate in arena scheduling. I build their schedules for them. That's because you don't really have a lot of course choices when you're an IB student because you have to take so many IB courses as a requirement. So if you're continuing as an IB diploma candidate, you're a current junior, rising senior, or you're entering the IB program, you're a current sophomore, rising junior, then I will build your schedule for you. So can you take some AP classes or dual credit classes along with an IB schedule? You can. And that's something that we'll talk about ahead of time before I build your schedule. But even then, I schedule those classes for you. So if you're not pursuing an IB diploma and you just want to take an open enrollment IB course that was listed on the slide before, then you select those for arena scheduling. I don't schedule those for you. You pick them, you schedule them. A little bit of a note about IB HL Math. So if you plan to take IB higher level math, which is an open enrollment class, the first year of that class is APBC calculus. For an IB kid, we code it as IB HL Math 1. That's so that the transcript has congruency, so that HL Math 1, HL Math 2 are listed on the transcript. So if you plan to take HL Math in 12th grade, so you're looking to start HL Math 1 in 11th grade, then you're going to select IB HL Math 1 during arena scheduling and not APBC calculus. You will be able to take the APBC calculus exam when you're in HL Math 1. But again, select HL Math 1 and not BC Calc if you're planning on doing the 2-year math option. So if you take IB, Chinese, French, German, or Spanish, you need to know that enrollment in those courses is binding for the entire school year. We do not have a drop option for those courses. And so if you enroll in those, you're in them for the duration of the school year. So sophomores, this slide is for you. If you intend to pursue an IB diploma, there are 2 things that you need to do. There's a Google form link that was sent out along with this presentation. If you are planning on pursuing an IB diploma, you need to sign up on that Google form so that I can set a meeting with you. And your family is more than welcome to be part of that meeting, because I have to build your IB course plan. And the only way that I can do that is to meet with you to figure out which IB courses you want to take, which that will allow me to build your IB schedule. Those meetings typically take about 2 months for me to complete, and that's with kids being in person. So I have no idea what it's going to look like with some kids virtual and some kids in person, but I appreciate your patience as I go through those meetings. So that's item 1. Item 2 is that you need to attend the IB interest meeting for the class of 2023 students and parents. That meeting is scheduled for January 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Currently, that meeting is a webinar. I don't know if we'll be able to host in-person meetings next semester because I'm recording this video in November, and we have not been given clearance to give any sort of event in person. If that changes, we will have the meeting in person, but either way, further info will go out to families, whether it's the link to the webinar or the location in person. So let's talk about college credit and placement for IB exam scores. So a common thing that I hear from students is that, well, I'm not going to get as much credit for an IB exam as I am AP. That's really not entirely the case. And so a lot of kids make that statement without doing any research. So I'm here to clear up the myths for you. So every college's credit and placement policies are different, and they change every year. And so if a college is going to award course credit or advanced credit for an IB exam, it's usually going to be for a score of 4 or higher. The IB exam is the only way to earn college credit for an IB course. The way to find out if an IB exam score is going to earn college credit is to go to that college's website and to look at the credit table. There is a Senate bill that requires Texas public universities to award a minimum of 24 credit hours for students who have earned an IB diploma with scores of 4 or above on all their tested subjects. These universities are not required to award credit in the same subject as the IB exam, which I know is frustrating, but when the Senate bill made that mandate, the universities decided to make that mandate work for them. And so sometimes they will award general elective credit and not IB subject credit, but again, that depends on the school. So here's an example of an IB credit table. I pulled UTDs just because their credit tables are really easy to read. So here's how you find this on a college website. So you're going to go to the search engine on the website and type in International Baccalaureate. And that is going to get you to the course placement credit by exam placement testing. They all call it something different, that part of the website. And so you're going to look at a couple things. You're going to look at the name of the test, and you're going to look at the level. And so you'll see standard and higher level here, and then the cut score. And so the next thing will be to look at the course that's awarded. And this is where you can kind of get in the weeds on the website, because you need to actually pull the degree plan for what you're interested in majoring in to see how these courses fit into the degree plan. So that piece is a little bit harder research because college websites, they bury degree plans in all sorts of areas on the site. So when you get admitted to the school, which you won't know if you get credit for your IB exams as a senior until July after you graduate, because that's when scores are released. So you'll get admitted to the school not knowing whether you've earned IB credit. But once you have that, you'll sit down with your academic advisor at the college and you will start negotiating. You will bring your IB exam scores. You will bring any AP exam scores you have. Any advanced placement, IB, anything exam score that you have. You'll bring that into that conversation to see what can be pulled off of your degree plan. And so that is a conversation you'll have with the academic advisor once you enroll. And again, this is the credit table for this year. Every school updates them every year. So don't bother memorizing them, but just keep in mind this is something that's evolving. Also want to take a bit to explain GPA. I always get GPA questions whenever this presentation is in person. And so I want to talk you through that on this video so that you understand what GPA is. It's funny, every year we have kids who are so worried about their GPA, and when I ask them to tell me what GPA is, they can't tell me. So I want to make sure to explain that so everyone knows what that means. So grade points are awarded based on semester averages. And so when a kid is in high school for 4 years, we're going to roll 8 GPA calculations, one at the end of each semester. And so we have made some updates to the GPA tables since the last time I did this presentation. So we've labeled the courses as level 1, 2, or 3. So a level 1 course formerly is what we would call an on-level course. The GPA table taps out at 4.0 grade points for those courses. Level 2 courses, which formerly were only dual credit, CTE, and pre-AP IB. Now we've had a name change where we are no longer referring to pre-AP IB classes as pre-AP IB classes. We're referring to those as advanced, and that has to do with the College Board copywriting the term pre-AP and charging schools a fee to use it, and Allen ISD opting out of paying that fee, so we just decided to rename the courses. Level 2 receives a maximum of 4.5 grade points. And the level 3 courses, which used to just be AP and IB, and moving forward will include some CTE courses, receive a maximum of 5.0 grade points. So here are the GPA tables. So here's how they work. So assume a kid is in an English class and he earns an 88 for this semester. So if he's in a level 1 class, that's an on-level class, he's going to receive 3.4 grade points for that 88. If he's in a level 2 class, so that's advanced or dual credit, going to receive 3.9 grade points for that 88. If he is in a level 3 class, which is AP or IB, we don't have CTE English, the student's going to receive 4.4 grade points. And so at the end of each semester, once semester grades are finalized, Skyward rolls an algorithm that plots the semester average against the weights on the GPA table, and then it takes an average of those numbers. And it is a rolling cumulative calculation. That means every previous semester is included every time we update GPA. So we do not rank 9th grade students. We start running class rank beginning with the fall semester of the student's 10th grade year. So that would include fall semester of 9th grade, spring semester of 9th grade, fall semester of 10th grade. And so in the spring of 10th grade, once fall GPA has been run and finalized, then we're able to determine class rank. And so we are required by the state to rank the top 10% at least. And so the student with the highest GPA is ranked first. And as we get into senior year, GPA determines walk order for our top 10 and also determines top 10%. So it's a little bit about how the GPA tables work. So I also get asked about the drop policy for advanced courses, and so students have the option at the end of the first 6 weeks and at the end of the first semester to request a level change from an advanced, an AP, or an IB course. You need to know that we don't approve all of the requests. They are a request, and so Sometimes a kid makes a request and what's wrong is totally fixable. And so we work to fix what's wrong, and then we don't need to come out of the class. Sometimes every intervention we've made does not do enough to help the kid be successful. Those are the level change requests that get approved. There are some classes that don't have an on-level equivalent or a pre-AP equivalent. And so if you enroll in these classes, you're in them for the whole academic year. And so the list of those classes that you cannot drop is AP Art History, AP Euro History, IB Chinese, AP French, IB German, AP Spanish, and IB Spanish. Enrollment is binding in those courses for the year. I want to spend a little bit of time on this slide. Typically when we give this presentation in person, we'll all, talk a little bit about our various programs, and so there's a Q&A at the end, and parents always want information about GPA because they've heard, and students have heard, that GPA is everything. I've been involved with college admissions for 14 years, and I am here to tell you GPA is not the deciding factor. It just isn't. First of all, the GPA tables that I showed you are not the same GPA tables that every college or every high school in the U.S. uses. We have some schools in the U.S. that don't even give number grades. And so colleges can't just make a wholesale decision when they have a GPA for a kid. First of all, they unweight the GPA so that everyone can be, kind of contextualized in the same way. Then they go about looking at the transcript. So that's really where they need to start anyway, because they look at the rigor of the courses on the transcript. And what I need you to hear me saying there is not fill up your transcript with every advanced class you can take, because no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to have some balance in what you choose and to pick courses that you enjoy. You having 14 AP classes and IB classes is not going to be what gets you admitted to college. GPA is also not going to be what gets you admitted to college. If it were the case, then our top 10 graduates every year who have the very highest GPAs of the whole class would get into every school they apply to, and they never do. And so I'm here to tell you GPA is not the thing to focus on. So things to focus on. Your grades. It's really common for a 9th grader to still kind of be getting their feet under them and to make some missteps academically. So did we fix that? Were there trends with grades? Do you start off really strong in the fall every year and then your grades tank in the spring? If so, work to fix that, obviously. Did rigor on the transcript increase or decrease over time? If it decreased, why did it decrease? Did you get very involved in some extracurricular stuff? Did you have family concerns that affected your schedule? Did you prioritize certain subjects because you really enjoyed them and then decided to build your schedule so that you had time to focus on their subject? There's all sorts of reasons why rigor would decrease. They want to see evidence of academic risk-taking. Did you take a class that you knew would challenge you and then stick it out in that class even when it got hard? Right now I'm thinking about one of my seniors who did not have to take APBC calculus in 12th grade. But took it because he wanted to see if he could do it. And he's doing great in there, but that was a totally unnecessary class that he took just for fun. And so that's going to pay off well for him whenever he gets to talk through that during the college app experience. Colleges want to know what you did while you were in high school with your academic time and with your non-academic time. So did you take advantage of the resources your school had? And our school has many. Did you get involved in extracurriculars? And were you just taking extracurricular activities to try to bulk up a resume? So if you had 15 extracurriculars, that's not good, because what colleges want to see is that you have some longevity in a few extracurricular activities and that you've had evidence of leadership and increased responsibility while you've been in those activities, and not just that you were in 15 different things. They also want to know, colleges, that you're applying to their school specifically to go to their school. Every year we have kids who just apply to colleges because they are elite or hard to get into. And those colleges have ways of figuring out if that's the case. And so one way they do that is through their essay prompts and just the application itself. So they want to know how you plan to leverage the resources that are there why you want to attend the school, why you want to pursue the major you're pursuing, and how you intend to take advantage of the resources at that school that are inherent to that major. Are there professors you want to study with? Are there classes you want to take? Are there clubs you want to get involved in? That's all research you have to do ahead of the college app process so that your application has appropriate context and meaning. You also need to know, going back to GPA not being the thing, colleges are very interested in holistic admission. And what that means is they move away from test scores and they move toward getting to know the student. And so the essays and personal statements that you write, the interviews that you will have with the school, and then your recommendation letters. I can't stress enough that your recommendation letters need to come from someone who knows you, who knows your individual story, who can speak to your academic potential and promise and the type of kid you were while you were in high school. Those are the rec letters that you want. And so all of that really rolls into college admissions. And again, please move away from believing that GPA is the thing. It really is not the thing. The thing is a lot of things, and I've listed a few of them here. So that is the end of my presentation. If you have further questions, I'd love for you to reach out to me directly. Email is the best way. I can always answer an email faster than I can a phone call. And so my email address is Shelly, there's only one E in my first name, .holmes@allenisd.org. If you're planning on pursuing an IB diploma, there's a Google form link that I want you to fill out so that I can get a meeting scheduled with you. And then be sure you come to that meeting that I mentioned earlier on in the presentation. And then there's also a general frequently asked question Google form for course selection that you're going to have access to. And so that's really for you to submit any question about anything related to course selection. But if you have an IB question, that's going to go to me, and I will get that question answered fairly quickly. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all 14 slides. And I look forward to talking to you if you follow up. Have a great rest of the day.